Good morning. It's May the 12th, 2016. Time to kick off another trading day. If it weren't for the 30-year auction, or wasn't, we'd probably like the sell side better to retest support. Now, best support's down here in this 12 to 16 area. And being a buyer, 17 to 13 is where I would like to get the buying done, off the idea that because of the 30-year auction, we're not going to break the market today. My first buy area, I put at 17 to 21, pretty aggressive because we have sold overnight. And the E-mini might hold and not break out to the upside today. Crude's pretty strong. Second buy level would be 9 to 13. On the sell side, I'm going to put a question mark by 23. It's very, very close. We have the spill from 25. I had the last rotate up at 27.5. So I think resistance is basically 28 to the buck. So sell 1 will be 27 to 31. Sell 2 will be 3 to 7. Biggest news out overnight, EU's industrial production was minus 0.8%. They were looking for plus 0.1. Big drop last month was minus 1.2%. So you can still make the case for economic contraction. Pretty much across the board. Jobless claims 267. Our news for the day. Import prices plus 0.6. Export prices unchanged. Natural gas inventories plus 60. B. And in the direction of the ES and direction of crude. So first piece of news we have today, probably the only piece of news that'll move the market unless you're trading natural gas, down to the direction of the E-mini and crude, in my opinion. But I do think we'll find buyer support. So that 13 to 17 area, I think represents pretty strong support. May have to pay 21s to get in. We're very, very close to that, so I would not have a resting 21 limit buy out there. If it weren't for the auction, we'd be more cautious on the buy side. Okay, 65, 12 to 16 has been reasonable support. Then supports picks up at 6 down to the buck. So our first little band of support on the bond is going to be 12 to 16. Buy 1. I think we break the 12 level, we can head down. We'll make 1 to 5. Buy 1. Buy 2, 25 to 29. On the sell side, 20 to 24. 27, 31, sell 1. 7 to 11, sell 2. The E-mini sells today. We just don't want any part of the short side of the market. Gold's off overnight. Crude oil and the stock market are higher. Sell gold. Okay, we had a 79 to 81 sell yesterday. That's where resistance was. Our buy was more aggressive than where we are. So right now was a sell. 65, 67 buy 1. And then 58 to 60 buy 2. On the sell side, 74.76. Sell 1, 79.81, where we were yesterday. Our sell 1 will be sell 2. Okay, the euro, we were hoping to sell 50s yesterday against that. 1450s, didn't get it. Selling started in Frankfurt, Paris time. It's continued. Looks like we're going to test support, so 1375 buy 1. 1350 buy 2. On the sell side, 10 to 20 sell 1, 30 to 40 sell 2. Crude oil, based on the fundamentals, should be lower, but the reasons given for the strength in crude oil, wildfires in Canada, and again from a lost production, 5 million barrels, maybe more. But when you look at the above ground storage, doesn't mean a hell of a lot. As long as 45 holds, there's no reason to not think we can't get to 50. You see, the high for the last 180 days or 6 months is in the 48.35 area. So wildfires in Canada, lost production in the United States, draws in the EIA numbers are all being cited as reasons for the strength in crude. And we just had a very, very strong market. Got to add short squeeze to that too. Remember last week, everybody was talking about how the hedging community was looking to lock in at 44-45 bucks a barrel, and somebody had to buy that paper from them, right? The market makers. So there's the dynamics, fundamentals are terrible. Short squeeze. The feeling is that if we lose shale oil production in the United States, that over the next 2 years, given the above ground storage, that supply and demand will get back where they're supposed to be. What they forget is that there's a lot of production in the United States that hangs over the market. There's supposedly 4,500 more wells that have already been drilled in the oil shale formations, waiting to be produced when the price of crude oil gets to 50 bucks. We'll see if that actually happens. So again, fundamentals are so far removed from the formula in trading crude oil that eventually they rule, but on any given day they sure don't. 47 a quarter sell 1, 47.50 75 sell 2. On the buy side, 46.50, 46 and a quarter buy 1. It's very, very aggressive. 46 even, 45.75 would reflect where we were last night, but the market is pointed higher, and like the E-mini, they make you pay up to get long early in the session. Okay, the strength in the E-mini is being attributed to central bank manipulation, support of the markets, and the price of crude oil. E-mini did rally back after getting slammed yesterday. E-mini's in a trading range. The question is how high. We know where support is. We don't really have as good a feel on where resistance is as we do support. So we have this break in the market that we showed yesterday. These highs, these lows right in through here is potential resistance in that 75 to 80 area. Then it really jumps up to 2100. The high is 21, I believe 35, maybe 37. My feeling is that this market's up, certainly not on fundamentals or anything other than central bank support. There's no reason not to expect in a presidential election year. Hey, everything's great, everything's rosy. If it's not for you, it's going to get better. Look at the stock market. I think we have a chance to take out 2135. Right now, resistance is 2085, 87, and it really jumps up to 2100. So the bottom of the trading range is in the 2030, 2040 area. The top has been 2095 to 2100 plus. We'll see if that holds up. A lot of the buying strength in the E-mini today is being attributed to crude oil. So looking at yesterday's action, we go to the longest line of letters and we left click. And we put this all back in together like that, so you can see that we have our move out of the middle. So stops above the overnight session high. So 74, 79 would be sell 1. Then 84, 89 will be sell 2. These bands are broad. My guess, if we don't take out 75 and change it from resistance to support, you can make a stronger case for the sell side. On the buy side, you can see there's a buyer at 55 to 60. The breakout came from 64, so first support area will be 65, give or take, so 64, 66 buy 1. And then 55 to 60 will be buy 2. European industrial production, much lower than forecast. Jobless claims, 267, the only piece of news. Import prices plus 0.6 won't be a factor. Export prices unchanged, won't be a factor. Natural gas inventories plus 60. And at this time of year, you'd expect builds of 60 to 70 because natural gas is replaced and is replacing coal for electric power consumption. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Clean air. I mean, nobody really talks about why coal is off so much, but a lot of that's just it's been replaced by natural gas to keep the EPA off the utilities' backs. And natural gas produces less, has a smaller carbon footprint. The other thing is that gas turbines can be fired up instantly. They're like big jet engines to power peak demand load spikes. So back in the old days, you used to have coal as the base load because coal was cheaper than natural gas. That's no longer the case. And you'd have natural gas to take care of peak demand spikes because you could quickly add it or take it offline. But because natural gas is cheaper than coal right now, certainly in a regulatory sense, then it's done more than just become the add-on. It's the fuel of choice now, and that's where all the new capacity is going. That in wind and solar power where forced. I still remember reading this, I forget, it was a little northeastern liberal college, or maybe it was in Minnesota, and they spent $1 million on wind turbines. They were going to make a political statement and cut their power costs, and the maintenance costs have destroyed their budget, have eaten them alive. And I have to wonder how much of that maintenance on wind-powered generators goes unreported, is hidden in our utility bills. Something to think about. I'm going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy with that. I will be back as soon as possible.